I had to stand in the last moment to do this, but it's a chance I always wanted, because at 25 years, we looked at not only I reflected about our successes, but also about our failures. And though we are a pioneer and we are a pioneer in PR and a leader perhaps, I think our PR business isn't as big as it should be, because I think we failed to convince people of what it is really about, its value. Not enough of our clients actually believe in it and use it. They continue to put their money in advertising. And I think people who need it very much, national leaders and governments who badly need to communicate their messaging, I don't know whether they believe in this or not. So here's the failure of PR. So let me move on to what PR today is and has become. It's press releases and more press releases, and it's all about media relations. That's what clients expect us to do. That's what clients think PR is all about. And we unfortunately tend to do a lot of that. When I say we, it's the whole industry. Of course, we've done a lot more in our 25 years. We've done everything from issues, crisis, and change management to advocacy to marketing PR for brands. But, that's few and far between. We could do a lot more, right? So, and even this messaging it's not strategic. It's not trying to do anything to your reputation, and it's unfortunately that's what it's thought to be, but it isn't. So we need to look at the bigger picture, and PR is really about, please, this is what I try to teach my classes, and I think I'm very successful in convincing my students about this, but not my clients, not anyone else. This is all of us who work in corporate communications. PR is really about managing your reputation. And this, now I don't know how important this is to you, right? So, all of us look at, whether you're working for a commercial company or you're working for an NGO, we all have to work with resources, right? And I don't mean just the physical resources and the factories, but also your human resources, right? So what is your most important asset? Is it your human resources? Right? So that's what it is. If you really think about it, why are we trying to manage reputation? Because your reputation is the single most important asset any company or anyone could have. This former president of ours, he believed in it when he said in his famous last words, right? He understood the value of his personal reputation and of character. So, look at that quote. It says it takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it, right? So that's something that can happen very quickly. Your human resources, they'll work with you and they'll go away, right? But your reputation, once it's gone, right? And we've seen lots of companies who then did not survive when they lost their reputation. So I like to show this picture of this egg. The reputation is, your corporate reputation is very fragile. Not only is it important, it is very fragile, like this egg, because it's constantly being potentially attacked by product failures, corporate changes, media scrutiny, competitor attacks, lobbies and activists, regulators, and here's the master blaster, right? Word of mouth, and it's today's digital era equivalent, social media sharing, right? You've seen all the comments. You go and look at your Facebook sites. Reputation, the other thing is that it's built on trust and respect. Now tell me, which of these do you trust and respect because they are your future, right? Take your pick. They are your future. None of the above. Right? So this is what it is, right? So have they built your trust? Have they won your trust and respect to rule you or to lead your country and, you know? Okay, so now, when you really think about, I mean, this is the simplest definition of PR. It's about what you say, what you do, and what others say about you. Now, which of these are more important, actually, though, right? Obviously, what you do, your actions, and what others say about you, your third-party endorsement that you get, are obviously more important than what you say yourself. So, what else is there? There's important corollary to this, and this is when you fail to do what you don't do in moments of truth, in a crunch, in a critical time, and that also defines your reputation. This happened when Zuckerberg didn't turn up for 5 days, didn't show up when a scandal broke out concerning his company, right? And that's called a PR fiasco or a reputation failure. And this also happened when our former president, J.R. Jayawardena, didn't speak to the nation for 5 days when July 1983 happened. And that's more than a PR failure. It was a national tragedy. So in the digital era, what's different? What's changed? So let's look at the technology factors, a widely networked world through social media. Anyone can manufacture and share news and views, and there's viral dissemination of the good, the bad, and the fake. There's flash mobilizations of groups and mobs, as we saw in Kandy and Digana. There's algorithms that feed you more of what you like and believe in, so you see your own worldview and not others' points of view. There is exposure and mining of your private data and your internet habits. We've talked about that, and you know that about that with the Cambridge Analytica breakout. And there are now firms and countries, right, engage in cyber attacks and manipulation. So this is the new digital world in which we have to manage our reputation. But I think it's not just the technology and the digital world. There's another thing. The new millennium also brings consumers, the people factors. Consumers worried about their health, consumers ready to complain on social media against poor products and services, citizen journalists, citizens exposing companies they feel are doing harm, extremists spewing propaganda and hate, and activists, from climate justice activists to others, mobilizing and using social media to mobilize supporters. So these are so you marry technology and people, and so and then of course there's loads of crazies, armchair critics. I've gone to some websites locally, and I've had, I've exited them very much rather than have a big fight there. There are too many crazies on social media in Sri Lanka. And so what does it mean? What are the implications for us in reputation management? There's more scrutiny and less protection for organizations and leaders. Listen, we need to listen on social media because this is the instant news medium. CEOs and leaders must tweet like Trump, right? If you don't tweet, how are you going to talk to your citizens? How are you going to talk to your... And that was the success story of Trump. And in a crisis, there's no time to dilly-dally. CEOs must not hide. They need to lead from the front. High-level PR expertise and trained spokespeople are needed. Do we have those in our industry? Savvy, empowered responders. I've seen a lot of people, there are lots of low-level employees doing the cut and paste corporate speak when you have a complaint. It's the same answer, standard answer you can go down. And of course, companies need to be proactive, be good, and think beyond your commercial interests. So thank you very much. I hope you will take up the challenge of managing your reputation in the digital era. Thank you.